Building business relationships is no longer a case of client lunches or follow-up phone calls. Social media seems to be becoming more important than the traditional way of doing things. The likes of Facebook and Twitter are proving to be popular branding tools, and businesses are rushing to jump on board. Here to tell us how to use this new and growing media properly, I'm joined by technology strategist and futurist Ross Dawson. Good morning, Ross Dawson. Welcome to Business Today.
Good morning, Whitney.
Now, how can social networking and social media be valuable to companies?
Well, I think if you look at the big picture, people have always wanted to connect. Now we have a whole array of technologies which we've leaped on over the last few years in particular, so that all of these plethora of tools, the Facebooks and the Twitters and the instant messaging and so on, are part of who we are as people today. So I think companies can't ignore this. This is really just the future of how people interact. So both within companies and being able to build more efficient ways of working, greater productivity, externally to be able to brand better, to engage with customers. I mean, there's a whole array of ways where companies need to take advantage of the fact that we live in a networked world. Companies are networks themselves, and so social networks are invaluable tools to build their future and success.
But Ross Dawson, is it a case that the likes of Twitter and Facebook are more suitable for certain types of businesses? And if so, what are they?
I think that there are different types of companies for which different approaches are relevant. So, for example, companies which have a very broad customer base, such as banks or telecommunications firms. I mean, customer service is one of the most important things, to listen to customers, to hear what's going right, to hear what's going wrong, and to be able to have tools to respond to those. And a lot of companies such as Telstra in Australia or Comcast in the US or Wachovia in the US are using these kinds of tools to engage with their customers. Others are using it to release information, for example, investor information from Rio Tinto. Others, like professional firms, for example, Deloitte in Australia, are using these tools to help their own people to engage and connect better. So different tools are relevant, or different approaches are relevant to different organizations, depending on whether they are professional-based, customer-focused, or what is really their priorities for the business.
Now, does the introduction of these types of media tools, marketing tools, also sort of bring with it, I guess, the opportunity to sort of write a new job description? Because if you look at something like Twitter, I guess is what I'm trying to say, is that Twitter is very, very labor intensive. And if you don't actually, if you're not Twittering all day for the business, then customers can get very frustrated with that. So are you seeing that companies are actually putting aside positions for specific media tools like this?
That's right. I think it's important, as you suggest, that if you do it, you have to do it properly. You can't do it in a half-hearted manner. And I think that companies need to assess, what's the big picture, what are the things they want to achieve, their business objectives, and what are the right tools to do it. And at that point, they need to really engage properly. So there are increasingly in organizations social media specialists who are both engaged in conversations, and they have the training and the personality to be able to effectively build relationships with their customers, and also to be an internal evangelist to help other people inside the organization understand. So I think you can't just set up a Twitter account and say, oh, that's going to be fantastic. You do have to take a structured and strategic approach for it to work effectively.
All right, well, let's look at some examples then. Which local and overseas companies are using this type of media well?
Well, in Australia, I've certainly seen some of the discount airlines like Jetstar and use it for customer service, and also to be able to make offers. As I mentioned, Telstra is using it to engage with its customers, and for a customer service approach. In the U.S., we have quite a wide variety of companies using it, using Twitter and Facebook and a whole array of social media tools in different ways. Quite a few of the banks, for example, Wachovia and Citibank, using some of these tools to build customer relationships. We're seeing, Comcast, the telecommunications firm, to engage. We're seeing, one of the famous examples is Zappos, the online retailer, which sold to Amazon.com for $900 million recently. Their whole strategy is based on building relationships, providing great customer service, and being very human in how they interact. And that was the value which merited the price which Amazon.com paid for them.